Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another movie review, I should say, slash rant on I wanted to review this a film series I wanted to review for quite some time, and figuring out be the right time to do it. And by the way, if you can hear, if you can hear on the what's going on right now, it's I have my fan going because it's been so hot lately. Very hot night the past couple nights. So yeah, if you're wondering why it's moving because I have the fan going, it's just been so hot recently. But I wanted to review this series for quite some time, and frankly, the whole series basically just sucks. And well, going to the first film, yes, I'm going to be reviewing the Leprechaun franchise. Yeah, the Leprechaun franchise stars Warwick Davis as the Leprechaun, and yeah, this whole series is just horrible. But because there's there's 6 films in this franchise. Well, if you include the second one, which I think came out like in 2014, I think it was called the Origins. That was made by the WWE Studios, whatever. But I have no interest in seeing that. I've never seen that one, and I have no intention of watching it any time now, or never. So, because this film has 6 films already, and I want to watch for a 7th one. I have no interest in. But yeah, this whole series basically just sucks. And well, this one is a rant though, but it's a review and a rant because I know the film is bad though. But it's the first one that came out in 1993, and it's not full on rant though, because there is ranting though. But the reason why this one, yeah, I know this film, and the rest of these films are bad. I know that, but the reason why I'm saying I'm going to be a little bit lighter on the first one compared to the sequels, which I'll be getting to more ranting, is because I used to watch this with my brother. Growing up, and I did like the first film. But like I said before, with Batman and Robin, you grow up with a film, you like it though. But when you get older, you get more wiser to it. You adapt to it, and you can see why it was so bad. Yeah, it's the same thing with this film. Me and my brother, and before we knew there were sequels. So yeah, that's why I'd be a little more kind of hard, because in retrospective, that me and my brother used to watch this all the time, and because grew up with it, and that's why I'd be a little more highlight hard. But I know it's a bad film. I know that, but that's why it's ranting. There is ranting though, but there's there's a couple things I do like about it though. But it stars Jennifer Aniston. This was her film debut in horror, and I like Jennifer Aniston in the film. And there's another guy by the name of Ken Olandt, who was in the original April Fool's Day, really enough, and I like that. And I like the original April Fool's Day, and I was like, okay, and I liked him as well. The franchise is mainly because it stars Warwick Davis as the Leprechaun, and one thing I would have to say about Warwick Davis is that yeah, he looks the part and he fits the part of playing Leprechaun, and the costume in the franchise, the costume and the makeup, it's good looking makeup, and he does look the part of playing Leprechaun. But overall, I was never scared by the Leprechaun, even by the first film growing up. I was never scared by this film or the Leprechaun character itself. I was never scared by it. And yeah, that's the thing. The Leprechaun is not all that scary. And even if he does, even if he does have magic powers, though, he was not intimidating. Basically, he's not scary. He was not intimidating as his Leprechaun character. And in Warwick Davis, that was the film that I thought he was in when he starred in Ron Howard's Willow, the one film, the fantasy film with Val Kilmer. And I'm sure people think he's also famous because he started playing one of those little furry characters, the main one in the Star Wars Return of the Jedi. But yeah, but even though he does even he does look the part as playing Leprechaun though, but I was never scared by him. He was not intimidating as all, and the whole in his acting as Leprechaun is not that great basically, and like some of the jokes and the humor, especially later on in the sequels, I didn't find that funny either in the least bit. Which dealing with mostly like on the rhyming part, which I couldn't stand. I couldn't stand the rhyming in the sequels. But yeah. So Warwick Davis, he may look the part as Leprechaun, but not funny, not scary, and not intimidating, and especially not funny as well. And especially all the stuff they did in this film, and also some other dumb things later on as well. Well, getting to the beginning. First of all, it's directed by Mark Jones, and who I'm not too familiar with. I'm not familiar with this guy named Mark Jones. Just looking at other stuff that he's done. He's done a lot of episodes for a bunch of TV shows. Well, even though he says he's credited in the other sequels because he's basing off his character basically, but he's not involved in all the sequels. Just I think it's based on the Leprechaun character by Mark Jones basically, but. He directed a film called The Rumpelstiltskin, and was another film, The Highwaymen, Mischievous of Science, Hunter. Nah, I'm just not all. Well, there are some episodes, of TV shows that he's helped with. I do recognize though, but film-wise, not too familiar. This is basically the only thing that I know about the guy is this film right here. And I will say though, the film is very. One thing I will give credit to though is the film is definitely shot in a very low budget. The film didn't cost that much. I think it cost around under $1 million. I would say give an estimate if I looked up, it was about 900,000. So yeah, okay, the film does look like it's low budget. I will give it that. Because if you look at the sequels, for some reason they cost around $2 million or $3 million. Which I don't know how those other sequels can cost $2 or $3 million. While this film alone would cost 900,000 because they all look the same to me. But I want to know, but the film it also came out in the early year of 1993, and it was I could say the film was a modest hit because it made, especially on its low budget that it had, it made about $8 million in the U.S. So you could say compared to the low budget and how much it made, I could definitely say it was technically a big hit basically, but not huge enough though because it only made $8 million, but it's still enough to make enough money to be a success basically. But did get negative reviews. Has about a what is it on IMDb? Really enough has a 4.6 on IMDb. That's the same rating that I did when I did on Howard the Duck. Really enough. Yeah, because Howard the Duck also has a 4.6 on IMDb, and so does this film. But this film has a higher rating on Rotten Tomatoes than Howard the Duck, and I would definitely say I prefer Howard the Duck more than this film or the sequels. Yeah, I can definitely say Howard the Duck is much better than this and the sequels. Definitely better than the sequels. And the jokes I would say is much funnier than the jokes in these films. But okay. But Jennifer Aniston stars in this, and it was her first film. I thought she did fine though, but so did Ken Law though, but they were not horrible. I would say that they were not horrible. I did like both of them. They're like other characters, like this guy named Mark Holton playing Ozzy, Robert Gorman as Alex. It opens up with this guy by the name of Dan O'Grady he lives it takes place in North Dakota, and he just came from Ireland, and his wife wondering where he's been, and he says like he has his mother's ashes, and he arrives in a limousine, and she's like, well, how can you afford to be in a limousine, this and that, and he breaks the vase, thinking it was the mother's ashes, but it has gold coins from the leprechaun he got. She made him show him where his gold was because it's the rule. And so he goes and hides it, and his wife hears a girl's voice, which is the leprechaun singing, and it's in a suitcase. It magically gets in the suitcase, and it can imitate voices, and makes like a girl's voice singing, and comes out of the suitcase, and like says, "I want me gold now," and guess. Well, I can't say that like he pushed her though, but it seems like it looked like that she just fell back on her own. Just the way that scene was shot, it was like I guess she was so scared. I guess she didn't see where she was backing up to, and she fell on her own down the basement stairs and kills herself. So Mr. Gritty he returns, and the leprechaun is there. So he gets a gun and he has a 4-leaf clover with him. Which, okay, this one I would say that did not make sense. Is that he has this 4-leaf clover, and then it's funny that later on in the film, like towards the end of the film, where he tells Jennifer Aniston how to kill the leprechaun is by with a 4-leaf clover, and you have to touch him. Okay, well, which I'll get into the he tells her that though, but he has one right now, and he just starts shooting, and he gets in the basement, finds his dead wife, and he shoots the leprechaun some more, and I guess it knocks him out. But he had the opportunity right there to touch the leprechaun and kill it with the 4-leaf clover, but instead he puts it in this big crate, nails the lid shut, and puts the clover on top so he can stay in there forever. I'm like, why didn't you just use the 4-leaf clover to touch the leprechaun and kill it immediately instead of wasting time putting it in the crate? And that way, the leprechaun would be dead, then whatever. And I just don't know that part thing didn't make any sense. I mean, he had the opportunity to kill the leprechaun with the 4-leaf clover, but instead he decides to put it in the crate and puts the power of the clover will keep you in there forever. But that's why I'm not being too kind. But at the same time, it's not full on rant though. But I'm just pointing out the mistakes and the dumbness that's in this book. Because in retrospect, because I grew up with this movie and I did like it growing up with me and watching it with me and my brother. But I have to say though that it's not perfect and it's not entertaining and it wasn't funny. So yeah, I'm still not being kind on it as well though. But that scene with him when he had the opportunity to kill the leprechaun, that just didn't make any sense. So he puts gasoline, he's about to light it on fire, but he has a stroke, and then it cuts to 10 years later. You have Jennifer Aniston with her father. They're planning to live in that house where O'Grady was. So because Jennifer Aniston doesn't want to live there because she complains like, oh, it's too dirty, and it's there's like a whole bunch of spiders and this and that. And then he meets with Ken Olandt as Nathan, in which it consists of him, Ozzy, and his little brother Alex, who are they're painters. They're gonna paint the house. Like there's a scene where Ozzy he gets like paint dropped on him, and he hears, and he's in the house, and he hears the Leprechaun with the girl's voice again, and he goes down there, and he's in the crate, and of course he swipes the clover off the box, and the Leprechaun breaks out, and then he gets out, and he eats a bug, and tells him, your shoes can use a shine, but have you seen my gold? And doesn't tell me, or I'll bite your ear off, and I'll make a boot out of it. And he uses like his magic to block the door, but it's not because he doesn't have his gold. His powers are weak, and he needs his gold, so he manages to get away. He tries to tell there's a Leprechaun, but they don't believe him. But then they get back out. There's this rainbow, and Ozzy follows it, and Alice is with him, where this old truck is, and that's where the gold was, where O'Grady hid it. And of course, Ozzy being the idiot, because this is one thing that because he's an idiot, because it indicates that he is an idiot, because Alex says he wants to use this gold to give Ozzy an operation for his brain, because how he is, because he's an idiot. Yeah. And of course, being the idiot that he is, he has one gold coin, then for some reason, he swallows it. He's like, because he tries to bite down to see if it's really real, but then he ends up swallowing the gold coin. So they plan to hide it someplace else. And while that's going on, Leprechaun is under the car, rubbing, I guess, Jennifer Aniston's leg, thinking that it's Nathan, but she gets scratched up, and then her dad comes in, says, it was a cat, because the Leprechaun's making a meow sound. And then he sticks his hand in this hole, and then bites his hand, so they gotta take him to the hospital. So they get in their truck, they go into town, and of course, here's another thing that's supposed to be funny, which it isn't, is that the Leprechaun follows them, but he's on a tricycle. Yeah, this is funny, where he's on a tricycle, and I don't see how that's funny, and this is how this film makes me feel. It just makes me yawn so much because I'm so tired, and that's why I'm dreading on reviewing the sequels, because I wanted to review the series and just show how it's a terrible franchise, and Lois doing it to me already. It's already making me yawning, and it's already making me feel bored and stuff. This is why. But yeah, moving on. So Ozzy now takes one gold coin to give to this guy who's at a coin shop, and they leave it with him. And as they leave, guy goes to his safe, and the Leprechaun appears from the safe and says, "I want me gold coin." Bites the guy, and he's like, "Me coin. It's not nice to steal gold coins from a Leprechaun. Bad shop owner. Bad shop owner." And you get this really lame death sequence where Leprechaun kills the guy by getting a pogo stick and just bouncing around on top of the guy and singing a nursery rhyme, which was not that funny either. It's like, "This old man, he played pogo on his lung." It's just a lame death sequence. Very lame, and I would say it's very laughable in a bad way. Yeah. And the next thing with Leprechaun, he gets this miniature car. He's driving on the highway, and then he gets pulled over by this cop, and which he's like, "Say, are we young to be out this late?" "No, I'm 600 years old." "Okay, smartass. Why don't you take that ridiculous mask off and get out of the car?" And then Leprechaun grabs a cop's face, I guess indicating that he's digging his long, sharp nails into the guy's face. That's why his face is so bloody. I guess he's digging his nails into the guy's face. Then again, another, I would say, it's another boring chase, and a foot chase. I would say he's just chasing him through the woods, and it's just boring. This is the thing. This scene here is just boring. Yeah, it's a lame foot chase, and then by the end, he sneaks it from behind and snaps the guy's neck, the cop's neck, and it's lame. It's just lame. The deaths in this film are lame, and so is all the other one. Well, I guess in some of the sequels, you get some gory bits of gory deaths though, but that doesn't matter. Most of the deaths are just lame anyway, and 2 deaths are lame, like the killing the guy with a pogo stick and kills the cop by snapping his neck. There's just nothing to them. And so then he goes back to the house searching for his gold, and he raids the cabinets, and of course you get one scene where there's a box of cereal. Instead of Lucky Charms, it's Lucky Clovers. It's just that they had the company that makes the Lucky Charms cereal would have sued them if they used the name. Yeah, so they won't use the name, so it was changed to Lucky Clovers. And then Leprechaun shines shoes. I guess that's what leprechauns do. Besides their love for gold, is that they just shine shoes. And the gang gets back, and they find the kitchen a mess. And then, okay, the line that Ken Olandt says on who did this. He says it must have been a bear. Oh my god, a bear did this. Yeah, a bear has like the human instincts, like to open the cabinets and just throw everything on the floor and make a mess, and then can put all these shoes on the table and shine them. Yeah, a bear can do all that. Oh my god, that line just makes me laugh. It's like, oh, it must have been a bear. Oh man, you see how the film is just so horrible though, but if you forget from the title of it, it's a review and rant though, but it's not a full-on rant because, like I said, I liked the film growing up though, but maybe I should maybe I'll just put it as a rant because it is a rant, and well, you probably already know by the time, but you probably know when this video is up and the title is there, so you should probably know it is what the title is. Is a movie review or in a rant, or just plain out rant. But I guess the best one is going to be rant, because I said it was not going to be like, it's a little bit ranting, but it's a rant, so yeah. I didn't do the same thing with Batman and Robin. That was a full on rant. This I guess is a rant. But like I said, I liked it growing up though, but now I just find it's not that funny. And it was never scary anyway. Yeah, growing up I was never scared by the Leprechaun. It just shows, I guess it shows for me what growing up. This shows how not scary this Leprechaun character is. Well, like I said, Warwick Davis. I mean, the Leprechaun character itself was not scary at all, or not funny. But I will say he does. I will say he does look the part. He does look like a leprechaun, and the makeup I thought was pretty decent. He does the costume and the makeup makes him look like the part of a leprechaun because I guess because of his size, and yeah, he does look like a part of the leprechaun. But at the same time, the character itself is not scary, not funny, and it's not intimidating. I was never growing up. I was never intimidated by this thing. Oh, because he's a he's just a leprechaun. I don't think these leprechauns are not supposed to be a scary thing. I guess some people say, oh, it's like if we could put this character in one of the lame horror film monsters, and I could definitely see why. I guess some people would say that on like a list of like the worst horror monsters in film history, and this one, I guess he'd be one of them because yeah, he's not scary and he's not funny. So they clean up the mess. They hear something outside. Nathan goes out there and he gets his leg stuck in a bear trap. Okay, now here's another thing with this scene right here. The leprechaun is circling him. You're caught in a bear trap. For some reason, I can tell there. For some reason, there was like a stunt double. It's because I know the Warwick Davis is small in size though, but there was a couple scenes as he's going around Nathan. There's like a completely different person playing the Leprechaun just by the size and the way he's walking. Why was there a second person in there for some reason? I have no idea, because the size of the Leprechaun is completely different, and it's very noticeable. If we watch that scene when Leprechaun comes in when Nathan's in the bear trap, you can tell it's between Warwick Davis and this other person, stunt double, whatever. I mean, it's plainly obvious. I mean, why? It's because it's just too noticeable. So, and then he smacks him a couple times with a flashlight, and they come out and they get the shotgun, shoots him. They go back to the house and they plan to get away in the truck. And the Leprechaun's in the truck and breaks the windshield and bites Ozzy's ear, and I guess I thought it was like a rip off of Child's Play, because like during in the first film of Child's Play, when Chucky's trying to strangle Chris Sarandon, he gets a cigarette lighter and he burns Chucky right on his face. Well, here's the same thing. I guess maybe they stole from Child's Play, but because Jennifer Aniston, she gets a cigarette lighter and burns the Leprechaun's nose, I guess. Well, I don't know if they stole it from Child's Play though, but I just wonder. So then okay, you get another dumb thing. Okay, he runs to the barn and he makes this makeshift go-kart with a pitchfork at the end. Ring around the rosy, whatever. And I don't buy this thing pushing this big truck, making it topple over. I don't buy that. I mean, yeah, it has a pitchfork at the end, but the way it was shot, I just didn't buy it pushing the whole entire truck over. So they run back in the house, and then as they close the door, Leprechaun gets his hand cut off, but he picks back up and runs off. I guess reattaches it somehow. Well, because he has magic powers, he probably can. So then Jennifer Aniston calls the police. You see that the Leprechaun is imitating the deputy's voice. Then the Leprechaun Ozzy tells him about the gold, and so Jennifer Aniston goes out there where they hid in a well. She gives it to him. He says his powers are returning, and thinks everything is fine. But he's one coin short, because Ozzy, he swallowed it because he was being an idiot, and he swallowed the gold coin. So the Leprechaun attacks him again, and there's this dumb scene where he's on a skateboard, and then or there's one place where he switches to he's in the cabinets, but he goes in one cabinet after the other. Then he comes down the chimney. He's like, "I'm right here, and I ain't no Santa Claus." Shoots him, but he's not dead. Then that's where he gets him on the skateboard, which is dumb. And then, okay, then you get this clear ripoff of Nightmare on Elm Street, where she has the phone, and Jennifer Aniston has the phone, and she throws it on the floor. Then it's still ringing, so when she picks it up, it's like, and the Leprechaun's like, "Having trouble? Here, let me give you a hand." You get the very clear rip-off of Nightmare on Elm Street. With Freddy Krueger, was doing like when Nancy's like, "I'm your boy for now." Nancy, and with a tongue on the phone. Here, it's basically the same rip-off of Nightmare on Elm Street, except sticks his little hand out, and that's basically it. Yeah, it's plainly obvious. It's also a rip-off of Nightmare on Elm Street, where instead of the tongue, it's a little hand that's coming out the phone. So then they tell that old man O'Grady, he's in a rest home because of the stroke he had from the beginning, that he would know how to kill the leprechaun. And then you get another dumb scene, which, yeah, back then, when me and Taylor watching this film, we thought it was funny though, but I don't think it's funny now. It's how they plan to distract the leprechaun while as Jennifer Aniston gets away in the Jeep. They plan to distract the leprechaun by throwing shoes, because he likes to shine shoes, so he plans to shine all the shoes when they throw at him, and that's supposed to be funny. Yeah, back then I thought that was funny when me and my brother Taylor were watching it, and now I just don't think it's that funny. I don't think it's not funny anymore. And then it comes to another dumb thing where the leprechaun has the ability to teleport, and he's on rollerblades, but he teleports right behind Jennifer Aniston, but he didn't right as she's driving, and he teleports behind the car. But why didn't he just teleport in the car with her so he can get her? I don't know why, but instead he just teleports behind the car. Oh, it's tries because it leads up to another joke where as she turns this way, she turns this way, and the leprechaun is going that way, so he can run into a fence and have a cutout of him as he makes the fence like no. Like I said, why didn't he just teleport in the car with her? So yeah, this leprechaun is not all that smart at all, just doing dumb things. So then she gets to the rest home, and then you get this long boring where she's just walking through the hallways and of this rest home, and some of the cameras like tilted a bit. What was I trying to make the film more scary by tilting the camera to an angle as she's walking down this hallway? I don't think so. So that was like a drag out right there, or it just shows her walking through hallways. It's not scary. And when she thinks that she found him, it's a leprechaun, and another silly thing where she chases her in a wheelchair. So she gets in the elevator. Mr. Ray comes through the ceiling, tells her that he has that to kill leprechauns with a 4-leaf clover, and you have to touch it. He had to touch him to kill a leprechaun. And like I said before at the beginning, why didn't he just do that in the first place? After he knocked him out when he shot him, just touch him with a 4-leaf clover and be done with it. But no, he decides to just put it in the crate because just basically, if he just killed a leprechaun right there, we wouldn't have no movie. So we have to prolong it. So yeah, but the beginning of them didn't make sense because from what he tells Jennifer Aniston, because he had to kill a leprechaun by touching it, he didn't do it at the beginning. So we had to wait for them to kill leprechaun. But with that, so then she gets back, and then she gets chased again by the leprechaun, and comes across the dead officer, and she takes a nightstick and stabs him in the eye with it. Then okay, get this one decent gore scene, but it's not much though because all he does is he just takes the eye from the dead cop and then puts it into his own. Okay, gets the only decent gore scene there is where he just takes the guy's eyeball and just puts it into his own. Okay. But that didn't matter because all the other death scenes were lame. Like with the other thing, especially with Dan O'Grady, is that he had a stroke at the beginning, and then it just cuts to him towards the end of the film where he's just dead. Leprechaun got to him off screen and he's dead. Just enough for him to tell about how to kill Leprechaun. So that was another lame death sequence. The deaths in this film were just lame. The old lady just falls backwards on her own. The post stick on the other guy was lame, and the guy with the lame foot chase scene just kills the guy by breaking his neck, and then it just cuts to that Leprechaun already got to him, and it just cuts to him, hanging upside down from the elevator. Wasn't much, and it was lame as well. So Nathan Ozzy was with her to search for a 4-leaf clover, and they get one. Leprechaun attacks Alex, and Ozzy, is like, "No, it's me you won, you little great son of a bitch. I got the last gold coin. I swallowed it. It's in my stomach. Then it's your belly I want." So he goes after him, and he's like basically he takes his shoe buckle and starts slicing him up. I want my last coin, and then the kid takes his slingshot and shoots the 4-leaf clover, and I guess you probably can say that it's the one badass line that the kid says, "Fuck you, Lucky Charms." That's funny. It's another thing. He says Lucky Charms, but they did not put that on the cereal box. Yeah, the kid says Lucky Charms, but I guess you just can't put that on the cereal, I guess. So yeah, she shoots it in the leprechaun's mouth, and again, the leprechaun starts melting, falls in the well, but he's still alive, so Nathan pours gasoline in there and makes it blow up. And then by the end, she shows that her dad comes in. Yeah, because after he's taken to the hospital, you don't see him towards that very end where he comes up and sees them. And then it shows that you hear the leprechaun says, "I will not rest till I have me gold. Curse this well that my soul shall dwell. I find the magic that breaks the spell." Whatever. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, the positive things, yeah. I like Jennifer Aniston. I like Ken a lot. Mark Holden as Ozzy, he's not that great, basically. And the kid Robert Gorman, which I thought I seen him in another film. I just can't remember. But I mean, Jennifer Aniston, and I guess out of the whole entire series, I guess the two people I liked out of the whole series was Jennifer Aniston and Ken Olandt of the human characters. Because I buy them more, I buy these two more than any of the lead characters in any of the other Leprechaun sequels. The film is on for about 91 minutes, or 90 minutes basically, but it's not that long of a movie, but I'm just not the... like I said, I grew up with this film with my brother, and just, I liked it back then, though, but, time changes, and, you just think it's not all that great no more, and it comes to the point where you think it sucks. Well, I will say, like I said, the positive thing, like I said, Jennifer Aniston can a lot, and, yeah, another positive, that how the way the film looks, it looks like it's shot with a low budget. The makeup effects and the costume of Warwick Davis makes him look like the Leprechaun. He does look the part to play one, but at the same time, the character, like I said before, the Leprechaun character itself is not scary. It's not funny. I would say not even intimidating. I don't think he was not intimidating at all. I mean, yeah, he has magic powers, but what does he do with his magic powers? He has the ability to teleport. He could have teleported within the car with Jennifer Aniston. No, but instead he decides to teleport behind the car. He's on rollerblades, so he can make a joke. Oh, he makes a hole in the shape of him as he goes to the fence, or he chases her in the rest home on a wheelchair. And the deaths were just lame. The deaths are just lame. Yeah, this film was not that big of a body count. He only kills about 4 people, and that's it. But this film's just... the jokes are not funny. Some of the things I just don't buy. Like the makeshift go-kart toppling over the truck. I don't buy that. And with the ripoff of the Nightmare on Elm Street with the phone. And I thought they ripped off Child's Play with the cigarette lighter. I could be wrong, though. So yeah, just Leprechaun. Maybe I could probably say it's one. I could still probably say it's still the best of the series. I could probably say that, because the sequels are much even worse. Yeah, I would probably say the sequels are much worse than the first film. But there has to be I would say one of the best sequels. I would say which I will say when I do the rant on though. But as for the first film, I would definitely say it's probably the best of the series though. But definitely better than the sequels because it just gets worse. It just gets worse after the first film. The second film, which will be up, which will be up, it's much worse than the first film. But yeah, but I have all the for your leads in this whole Leprechaun series, or the human character, as I would say, is Jennifer Aniston and Ken Olandt. I like both of them. I thought they were not horrible. I thought their acting was fine. Especially if this was Jennifer Aniston's first film. I thought she did fine for her first role. I thought she did pretty good, and I like Jennifer Aniston as an actress. I always enjoyed her from the TV show Friends, and I like her in other movies. So yeah, she was not horrible. I thought she did a pretty good job for her first role. And Ken Olandt I liked, but Mark Holton as Ozzy, not that great. But I do say I liked how it feels it was shot on a very low budget, and it was made enough money to get sequels. And the second film, which is one of the worst ones, is that was the only one that got into theaters somehow, but it didn't make much less than the first film did. But and Warwick Davis, yeah, let's say for the last time, he does look the part of the Leprechaun. I like the costume and the mega effects to make him look like a leprechaun, but his humor and the death scenes the character does, it's not scary, and the humor I thought was not funny, and not intimidating. I would say he's not intimidating. I would say. Even if he has, and plus, like I said, he has magic powers, but he doesn't do much with it. He doesn't do much with his magic powers. And I'm not scared by this Leprechaun. Yeah, growing up, I was never scared by this Leprechaun. It just shows how not scary when you see someone at a young age. Well, not young. Maybe when I saw this, I was like maybe 13, I would say. So yeah, it just shows that he was not that scary at all. So yeah, this is my the first rant on the first film, and I got the whole franchise, which I well, I don't have all of them because two of them, those are the ones that my brother owns, and I have to borrow those though, but. Yeah, the ones I have is all the way to 1 through 4, because I don't own the other two, like, in the hood, because those are much worse, and my brother, he owns those ones, but so I have to borrow those ones, because if I have to do this, I have to watch all these other ones, and it's gonna be torture to watch. It so is, because the sequels, they just get worse after the first film. But yeah, this is my review for the first Leprechaun film. But I know there are a lot of people that do like the franchise though, probably because they think that Warwick Davis does play good as Leprechaun. I mean, is the character, is it the worst of like? No, it's not. Isn't the worst I've seen. I've seen a whole lot worse and a lot worse. But I can say Howard the Duck is much better than this franchise. Such a humor or action or whatever. So yeah, but this is my review for the first film. But I still got more sequels to go through, and it's gonna be torture to watch. And those are gonna be full on rants. But yeah, I was being a little bit lighter on this one though because I grew up with this one, so with me and my brother, but it's not that great when you watch it now today and you get more wise to it. But yeah. So anyway, that's my review for the first one. And stay tuned for the sequel, Leprechaun 2. Later.